In the future, the world was on the edge of destruction because of overpopulation and climate change. Millions of people were starving, and civil wars were breaking everywhere. Finally, the situation became so dire that the only solution was to move to a new planet. By the year 2242, scientists had discovered a new planet in another solar system where humans could live and breathe easily. They named this planet New Earth. It was very far away, many light years from Earth. Only 300,000 people from the remaining population on Earth were chosen to go to New Earth. These people were sent on 42 large spaceships and would stay in cryosleep for the entire journey. Only a few crew members were awake to maintain the ships. Despite sending 300,000 people to New Earth, more than 2 million people were left behind on Earth with no way to escape. These people were doomed to die on the devastated planet. One of those left behind was Noah. He wasn't chosen to go to New Earth, but his girlfriend Haley was selected because her father Adam held an important position on the ship. Haley was also pregnant with Noah's child. Together they came up with a plan to smuggle Noah onto the last spaceship, the 42nd one, as the previous 41 ships had already departed. A large crowd gathered, desperate to board the final ship, leading to chaos and a stampede. Haley managed to get inside, but the guards opened fire on the crowd. Haley feared Noah might have been left behind. Inside the ship, Haley's father, Adam, was welcoming everyone when Noah suddenly appeared, having somehow escaped the guards and made it inside. Haley introduced Noah to her father, but didn't reveal that Noah was her boyfriend who had sneaked onto the ship. Adam was already upset with Haley for getting pregnant by her boyfriend, adding to his concerns. The process of putting all the passengers into cryosleep had started. Only a few selected guards would stay awake to maintain the ship as it traveled rapidly through space. These awake crew members included mechanics, doctors, and cleaning staff. Noah had managed to board the ship using a fake ID as a cleaning employee. Before going to sleep, he said goodbye to Haley because he had to stay awake to perform his cleaning duties. After everyone was put into cryosleep, the ship was prepared for a quantum jump, which would propel it at an extremely high speed. Due to time dilation, hundreds of years would pass on Earth during this journey, meaning the remaining humans on Earth would likely perish. One day, while the crew members were having dinner together, some guards caught a stowaway who had secretly entered the ship. The ship's commander, Stanley, ordered the stowaway to be thrown out into space because they were already short on food and water, and they needed all resources to settle on New Earth. Noah watched in fear as the man was killed, knowing he had also entered the ship with a fake ID. He realized that if anyone discovered his secret, he would face the same fate. Noah was assigned to live with another crew member, Clay, who barely spoke to him, making the situation even more stressful. Feeling upset and isolated, Noah found solace in talking to Haley, who was in cryosleep. As the days slowly passed, the rest of the crew lived comfortably, but cleaning workers like Noah had to work very hard to keep the entire ship neat and clean. Everything seemed to be going well, but they did not know that things were about to change drastically. One day, Noah noticed that his roommate, Clay, was acting suspiciously. Clay was sneaking around with someone and carrying a container of poisonous gas. Noah decided to ignore it, but moments later, alarms started blaring from the ship's control room. Commander Stanley asked Noah if he had seen anyone sneaking in, as there was a fear that someone might have infiltrated the ship. Because many people on Earth had formed a group that opposed humans settling on another planet. They believed that humans would destroy New Earth, just like they had destroyed Earth, and that humanity deserved to face the consequences of their actions without escaping to another planet. Commander Stanley suspected that someone from that group might have boarded the ship to sabotage it. He asked Noah to report any strange activity immediately, and Noah agreed. While Noah was carrying some cleaning supplies, he accidentally dropped a can. To his shock, the liquid inside was so dangerous that it burned through a table. Realizing the potential danger, Noah understood that the situation was far more serious than he had initially thought. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ship, Shady was relaxing with a drink when an unexpected visitor, a small parasite, slipped into his glass unnoticed. He took a sip without noticing the intruder. Sometime later, while chatting with his friend Blucher, Shady was suddenly gripped by intense stomach pain. To Blucher's horror, Shady dead in front of him. Strange creatures burst forth from Shady's body, attacking Blucher. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the ship, Noah was deeply engrossed in his tasks. Noah eagerly awaited Clay's advice on their next course of action. However, as time passed without any response from Clay, Noah grew concerned and decided to check on him. To Noah's surprise, he found Clay in the midst of an unusual activity. Clay Clay was handling a volatile substance that Noah had previously spotted, intending to use it to a drink. Noah hastily retreated and reported the incident to the ship's authorities. However, Noah soon realized that everyone are associated with Clay's actions. Consequently, ship authorities apprehended Noah and compelled him to consume the same mixture. It later became evident that Clay had not engaged in any misconduct. He had simply been brewing alcohol, which was strictly prohibited on the ship. Despite the rules, the crew clandestinely enjoyed the forbidden drink together. Clay, cautious of potential repercussions, urged Noah to keep their secret. However, sometime later during a crew members' gathering, Commander Stanley discovered that some crew members were secretly preparing and consuming alcohol on the ship in direct violation of regulations. After the party concluded, tragedy struck when a crew member named Ortega went to find Blucher. Unknown to her, Blucher had been affected by the mysterious parasite, causing him to become extremely violent. In a horrific turn of events, Blucher attacked and killed Ortega on the spot, while Noah was attempting to access the ship's computers to alter his data and erase any trace of his entry with a fake ID. Clay caught him in the act. Noah explained that he had done it all for Haley, seeking Clay's understanding. Clay sympathized with Noah and promised to keep his secret. Meanwhile, an emergency was declared by the commander as he saw Shady's devastated condition. Additionally, Blucher and Ortega were reported missing, prompting a frantic search throughout the ship. The commander urgently called for all crew members to assist in locating them to understand the unfolding situation. After an extensive search, Clay discovered Ortega's lifeless body. Simultaneously, the rest of the crew located Blucher attempting to breach the ship's control room. They surrounded him with weapons drawn, imploring him to cease his actions. However, Blucher appeared to be out of control and attacked them instead. In the ensuing struggle, one of the guards lost their life, forcing them to go against Blucher. It became evident that Blucher was not acting of his own volition, leading to a grim realization. The doctors proceeded to conduct PM on all the deceased crew members, while the remaining crew were instructed to isolate themselves in their quarters to prevent any potential spread of whatever had afflicted Blucher. During the examination, the doctors made a chilling discovery. Blucher's internal organs had seemingly been consumed, as if by a predatory creature. In the midst of the turmoil, Commander Stanley reviewed the recordings of Shady and Blucher's incidents. The doctor informed them that a parasitic organism had consumed their internal organs and taken control of their brains, leaving their bodies empty vessels, potentially anywhere on the ship, posing a severe threat to everyone on board. Faced with the urgency of the situation, Stanley ordered all awake crew members to assemble immediately. During this gathering, it came to light that Noah had initially entered the ship using a fake ID. Stanley, contemplating drastic action, was persuaded by Clay to spare Noah, emphasizing his usefulness in combating the parasitic threat. As the crew discussed how the parasite could have been deliberately released to ensure it spread to the new planet, they were startled to find that the bodies of Shady, Blucher, and Ortega had vanished inexplicably. Before they could comprehend the situation, the 3 deceased crew members reappeared, now transformed into aggressive beings. Despite efforts to defend themselves, their attacks proved futile. Amidst the escalating tension, in a desperate attempt to protect the remaining crew, Commander Stanley met a tragic end. Then Dr. Susan led them away from the chaos. However, they encountered a puzzling development. The gates to all crew members' quarters had mysteriously opened, a privilege only accessible by the commander. As chaos engulfed the ship, Stanley and the rest of the infected crew turned into zombies, relentlessly pursuing the remaining survivors. Clay and Noah managed to find temporary refuge in a room where they could hear the agonizing cries of their former comrades being turned into zombies. However, their sanctuary was soon compromised as the zombies breached their hiding place. Banding together, the survivors fought desperately against the zombies. Amidst the struggle, they encountered a lone survivor named Soldier Lincoln. Tragically, during the melee, a zombie seized Clay's friend and dragged him away. Clay bravely pursued them to rescue his friend, while Lincoln insisted that escaping the ship was their only chance of survival. Lincoln urged them to board the escape pods bound for the new planet, despite its distance. The group hastily made their way to the security room for shelter. Meanwhile, Lincoln embarked alone in an escape pod, unaware that zombies had clandestinely stowed away. They attacked and infected him mid-flight. Back in the security room, the survivors barricaded themselves against the relentless assaults of the zombies, who relentlessly tried to breach the door. Hours passed in tense anticipation as they contemplated their grim options. Eventually, they resigned themselves to using the escape pods to flee the ship, despite knowing it would doom everyone else on board. Noah, however, refused to abandon Haley. With a determined plan in mind, he resolved to seek out Haley's cryo-sleep chamber. Knowing Haley's father, Adam, held a position of authority, so he intended to awaken him. After successfully navigating through the air vents with Clay's help, Noah reached Adam's room. Meanwhile, Clay's injured friend revealed the unsettling truth. He had smuggled the deadly parasite onto the ship to infect everyone on board. Clay, shocked and furious, demanded an explanation for such a reckless act. His friend explained that their group feared humanity's destructive tendencies, believing humans had irreversibly harmed Earth. They aimed to prevent humans from repeating these mistakes on any new planets. Therefore, they strategically placed the parasite on all 42 ships, designed specifically to infect humans and potentially prevent their colonization efforts. Clay expressed dismay over the betrayal and the catastrophic consequences of their actions. Meanwhile, Noah successfully woke Adam from cryosleep and brought him back to the security room. There, the team informed him of the treachery within their ranks and the grave threat posed by the parasite. Adam, Haley's father, and the ship's leader revealed he had prepared for such a crisis by assembling a specialized team. They swiftly mobilized, awakening all crew members from cryosleep to combat the infected. Initially, their coordinated efforts appeared successful as they managed to eliminate several zombies. However, they soon realized the infected were adapting rapidly, evolving to counter their tactics. The virus seemed designed to overcome any defensive strategy. Adam made a courageous decision. Recognizing the growing threat to everyone aboard, he sacrificed himself, detonating explosives to halt the advancing zombies and buy time for the survivors. After the explosion, only Noah, Clay, and Dr. Susan remained alive amidst the wreckage of the ship. They hoped the blast had ended the zombie threat, bringing a momentary sense of safety. But to their shock, the scattered zombie remains began to merge into a gigantic creature. Breaking through the passenger lobby, this colossal zombie posed a new danger, threatening to infect the remaining passengers. Realizing they had just 15 days left to reach the new planet, Clay urgently proposed a plan. He feared that if the ship landed on the new planet with the virus, it would spell catastrophe. Haley, Adam's daughter, had her cryosleep chamber in a separate section, making her easier to retrieve. Noah swiftly woke Haley from cryosleep, explaining the dire situation, and they rushed towards the escape pod. Their escape was interrupted by the appearance of the giant zombie, which attacked and fatally wounded Dr. Susan as Clay tried to intervene. Seizing the opportunity amidst the chaos, Noah and Haley managed to reach the escape pod. Injured Clay, amidst his struggle against the giant zombie, somehow manages to launch Noah and Haley's escape pod and explode his own ship that annihilates their infected ship along with the parasite. After enduring countless hardships, Noah and Haley finally arrive on the new planet. There, they encounter a girl who had arrived on an earlier ship, only to discover that she too has succumbed to the same virus that plagued the other ships. It becomes evident that all the humans who have landed on this planet have transformed into a colossal, monstrous creature, a horrifying manifestation of the virus that Noah had witnessed aboard the ship. Realizing they are among the last two remaining uninfected humans, Noah prepares to confront the monstrous beings for Haley's sake. Haley, carrying Noah's child, represents humanity's hope for survival and continuation in this new world. With unwavering determination, Noah braces himself for the daunting battle ahead, knowing that their struggle against the infected creatures will determine the fate of humanity's future. And with this, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for tuning in, guys.